In this video, we're building a SwiftUI task list with a twist. Instead of a boring strike through, we'll animate a custom wave across the task title when it's completed. Let's define a custom wave using shape. This will replace strike through, but way more dynamic. The wave stretches across the task title and animates in when the task is completed. The wave will animate across the width of the text. You control how bumpy it is via wave count. You'll later trim this shape to animate it from left to right as the task becomes completed. We need a clean way to model each task and render it in a reusable row. The wave will be drawn over the task title only when it's marked complete. Straightforward. Each task has a title and a completion flag. We start with a variable called task. It's of type task model. This gives the row the data it needs, like the task title and whether it's completed. You don't create the task here. It gets passed in when the row is used later. Next, we add onTap. This is the action that runs when you tap the task. When you use task row, it will ask you to pass in this action. That's what will happen when the task gets tapped, for example, marking it as complete. Text width. This is a local state variable that will store how wide the task title is. We need this so we can draw the wave across the text. The wave has to match the title's width, and we'll measure it using a GeometryReader later. Progress. This controls how much of the wave is visible. When the task is not completed, progress is 0, no wave. When the task is completed, progress becomes 1, full wave drawn. We'll animate this change to create a smooth visual effect. The HStack puts the icon next to the task title. The icon changes based on is completed. It shows a circle or a filled checkmark circle. contentTransition adds a smooth transition between icons. No jump cut, just a nice system animation. The text goes inside a ZStack because we'll later draw the wave on top of it. The spring animation lets the wave draw in smoothly when progress changes. This is the basic visual layout. Now we create the full list of tasks and show them in the view. The task array holds the list of all your tasks. We loop through each one using for each and pass it into task row. When you tap a task, the row calls onTap, which toggles is completed. This update triggers the wave animation and icon change. Now we add a background to the text so we can measure its width using GeometryReader. We use color.clear so nothing shows up visually, but SwiftUI still calculates the size. We add a short delay inside on appear, just 0.1 seconds, to make sure the layout is finished before we read the size. Without this, it might give us 0. We save that width into text width, and we'll use that to size the wave correctly. On tap gesture. This is how we trigger the tap action, like toggling task completion when the text is tapped. Now we draw the wave over the text, wave path. The width will be text with the value we get it from the GeometryReader, and wave count 3 creates the wave. We subtract a few points to align it visually with the text. Trim, from 0 to progress, is what animates the wave. It starts at 0 invisible and grows to 1 fully drawn, stroke. Draws the wave with line width 4, rounded ends. Offset x2 nudges it to line up with the text. Frame, width 20, height 23. Keeps the wave from stretching and messing up the layout. This line is critical. Without a small fixed height, the shape would fill all space and break the row. onChange. It watches the isCompleted value on the task. When it changes, we set progress to 1 if the task is complete, or 0 if it's not. That controls the wave animation, drawing it in or hiding it.